Hey, Plant Pals, Mike the Candid Gardener, and today's video is on how you can take things you would otherwise throw out in the trash that you could use to make very simple, quick hydroponic units. And I was talking to uh, a friend of friend's channel that was talking about just that idea of how you can take, you know, stuff that you would normally like cardboard and stuff and use it in your garden, which is, you know, an awesome thing to do because, why fill up a landfill when you can make use of these things? So just some quick, just a very fast run. I mean, I've shown other methods using that you can drill a hole in the top of any container, like clean, of course, clean out a mayonnaise jar and cut a hole in the lid, and you can put uh, like Aero Garden pods into it, so you don't have to buy a fancy machine in order to grow uh, wonderful plants. So anyway, this is just a quick example. This is a vitamin bottle that's empty. It's got a nice amber color, so that I don't even have to cover it because you probably won't grow algae in it. Anything that's clear, if you're not changing the water, keeping an eye on it, the water will get gross and slimy because it'll grow algae. But if you cover it with some aluminum foil or a paper bag, it won't. So this is a 2-inch net cup. There's different sized lips. This is a smaller lipped one that happens to fit perfectly in that bottle. So I could easily grow a decent sized plant in that, especially herbs, lettuces, very easy. This, just to be funny, just to just kind of prove the point, this is a bubble gum container. Now you could take the top off here, of course. Also fits in that cup. Now it's very small, so you would have to change the fluid if the plant started drinking it right away. But this would make an excellent seed starter for your outside garden. If you had my wife and I, we chew gum a lot and we probably thrown out 20 of these things over the year. If we saved all 20, you could seed start for outside 20 plants. Just put a Rockwool cube and some pebbles around it, or you could use a coffee filter, put in here, and then put soil in there if you wanted to use soil. I don't have soil in my house, but yeah, there's a ton of things you could do using either hydroponics or soil, using things like this. Instead of throwing them away, use them. Here's so it doesn't fall over. Oops. Don't look at the name brand. Whatever. Free advertisement for them. Anyway, this is a salsa bottle. Cover the name of that. Again, net cup. Boom. Easy. Here is a espresso powder that I use when I make my smoothies. I love coffee and I love coffee flavor, so I just take pure espresso powder and mix it in with my vanilla protein shakes, and that gives me coffee flavored protein powder. This is a little bit smaller, but it wouldn't hurt. But still, the roots and stuff will be down here, and that's not going to hurt anything. So yeah, and this again would be more for fun, just experimenting, getting something started that you move into a bigger system. But just showing that it's very possible. Now, I'm going to demonstrate fully, start to finish. This here is a protein shake bottle. Again, you buy a 20-pack of these things, and you drink the shake, and then you throw the bottle out. Well, that's very wasteful. This is a very thick water, not water, but food grade container that can hold, any food grade container that can hold liquid would be excellent for the purpose of growing a plant in. So I'm going to grow, for fun, some thyme, sage, and some other ones would be faster than germinating and starting, but it's something. This is the thing I felt like growing. So, be right back. I forgot to get the hydroponic fluid. Be right back. All right. See, what I do is I keep my plant food in these 1-gallon containers, and it's kind of universal with hydroponics that the food you buy, you usually mix 5 milliliters if it's a liquid of like Arrow Garden or any of the other brands of food per gallon of water. And I always pre-mix it and let it sit with the cap off so that any chlorine will dissipate. I use filtered water, and I also make sure that the chlorine is dissipated before I use it. So I'm going to demonstrate how fast I can throw a simple hydroponic unit together. So I'm going to do it off camera. I don't want to splash on myself so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, see, even looking at it, I'm spilling onto myself. Get a little higher. All right. So you don't want to fill it to the top because then it'll, once you put the basket and the seed in, it'll go on to overflow. All right. Set this aside. So we got the fluid. Oops. Get right back again. All right. It's not totally necessary, but I always like to have my weak hydrogen peroxide in water solution when I start a seed, just to make sure it kills any, because you get these pea pods from either Arrow Garden or generic ones from Amazon. They're made out of peat moss that's from a swamp, and hopefully they treat it, but it's organic, but it might also have organic in it. So I always either heat it in the microwave with water, boiling water, or I spray the peroxide solution on it to make sure it kills any possible gnats or anything. And while it's up, I forgot to show that you get these from the dollar store or any other store. This is just a plastic shot glass or mouthwash glass or bathroom cup, Dixie cup or whatever. That's the same size as a 2-inch net cup, so you can use those instead of using 2-inch net cups. This is a little bit wider. There's smaller ones that fit better, but it's still the same concept. It still will work. It's not going to hurt anything. You just, because it sits halfway down, and you cut slits in the bottom, and you start the fluid up to here, and you can grow your plants in that in a rock wool cube. Again, you can use soil if you want, or you can do, and I've done it a lot of times where I make fake soil using cocoa coir, perlite, and vermiculite. It makes a perfect soil consistency, the three of them mixed up together, and it feels and looks just like soil, and the plants just love it. They go crazy for it. And then, of course, once the plant gets going, because you don't need any nutrition when you first start a plant from seed, but once it starts growing, then you start adding some hydroponic plant food to it. Or if you wanted to grow, you could put like if you had a big pot and you want to grow something bigger, you could put the pelletized plant food mixed in, which I wouldn't do, but it's doable. A lot of people do. So anyway, back to this. So I've got now this is an iDo basket. Now my biggest knock on iDo is that their sponges are smaller than the Arrow Garden sponges, because they make the holes smaller and stuff for their units, because they want to be proprietary, of course, and sell you their their baskets, as opposed to you buying somebody else's baskets, which is understandable. It's kind of like Ford doesn't want you to buy Toyota parts, but it's still kind of in the gardening community, it's kind of a gripe that the baskets don't kind of work with each other. But the nice thing that I will give them about this basket is that it's small, so fits right in that cup, where the Arrow Garden one would sit like that. So for this application, it actually works. So I'm going to give my sponge here a good wet down with the hydrogen peroxide solution, and then it'll also soak up the plant food from the bottom. I'm going to put my seeds in there. Now I bought this, I showed it, I did a quick video. This is I got this off of Amazon. It's for planting seeds, and it has a whole fancy turn dial thing to let so many seeds through and whatnot. I don't need it for that, but it is kind of hard to use it like this to try to put the seed in. I mean, it's doable, but I'm just going to put, like, say, 5 seeds in this thing. I'm gonna get them to go down the little chute. Get over there. Get. Nope. See? I'm just putting seeds on myself. Should have trusted it. Anyway, so I bought this because it'll make it easier to tap seeds in the hole than trying to use tweezers. Some people use tweezers. And then you try to use your finger. It's kind of a pain. So anyway. So I just bought this just to try it. I'm not even sure I really like this thing. Now that I'm trying it, it's kind of a pain. It'd be great for bigger seeds, but for these smaller seeds, it's kind of not working great. So that's going to be my review of that. It's kind of for the small seeds. I got them all over my finger and not into the hole. So I'm just going to go back to my old standard way of doing it. Whoop. That was too many. Whatever. Just thin it out. And then I always, of course, take my foil. And I put the foil over the top. And I smooth her out. Push it down. And then I will get something sharp, like my handy dandy letter opener that I use for my mail calls. And I punch a little hole so that it can, once it germinates, reach up to the light. And then I take another spritz of the peroxide, spritz of that. So set that. See, another thing is these are smaller pods, so that this thing doesn't work as great. I do have the other ones, but I don't feel like digging them out. The I do caps. Fine. I'll grab one. Be right back. Fighting me today. All right, so this is an I do cap, and they're much. See, look at the Aero Garden cap lets you grow it taller. I do cap was smaller. It doesn't fit that much better, but it fits slightly better. Anyway, it's good enough. It doesn't have to be totally tightly sealed. You can always put plastic wrap over it if you're going to watch it to make sure that it's not, the second it germinates, you remove the plastic wrap. Or you can put a sandwich baggie. You can take something like this and then just put it over, which I think that's what I'm going to do. So, goodbye. You stink. I like to put a little bit of my breath in there. The what do you call it? The carbon dioxide or whatever. Also helps with the germination. And give it the little air to room to breathe. Oops, I already put it on my experimental shelf without showing it. So anyway, that's what I got. So I'm going to grow some thyme on my experimental shelf. And we'll see what happens. Might work, might not. It always has in the past, especially with things like sage, and I throw all kinds of small plants into some of my micro dwarf tomatoes and stuff in there, and I get them started that way before I move them to another unit, and it works great. All right. Despite all the hiccups and it taking forever to do, we made it. Hurrah. All right. Anyway, that's like I said, there's a ton more different ways of using items you have around your house to start your soil or hydroponic plants inside and grow them. So you don't need fancy machines, even though they're really reasonably priced nowadays. It used to be, you get a machine, it would cost $300-400. Now you can get a really good one for $50. It used to be the $50 ones were pretty awful. Now they're really good. Some of those $50 machines, I would almost say, are as good, or if not better, than the $400 machines because of the features that they have now, as far as the light height, the light lowering, the depth of the tank, holding more fluid to not have to water as much. The lights are getting better and better. So yeah. So again, if you don't want to spend the $50, but yet you have an itch to grow inside on a windowsill, you don't even need a special light. Just do what I did. Throw seed into a Dixie cup with some slits in the bottom. Take some whatever your plant food is, mix it up with a gallon, like I said, according to the directions, and then fill it up, and then put it in a windowsill and grow some herbs. It's just that simple. All right. Any comments, questions, leave in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.